Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Mindful Muscle Podcast. I am back and I'm here with my fabulous co host, Jodi Dolo. How are you, Jodi?
Well, I'm not rolling solo today, so I'm great. If you're new here, welcome. Gio and I are two friends who went on our own health and wellness journeys and have collectively lost and maintained a 140-pound weight loss. But more importantly, we've gained strength, confidence, and a better relationship with our health. We're here to show others, especially those just starting out on their fitness and health journey, that sustainable change is possible and you are absolutely worth the effort. So be sure to like and subscribe to Mindful Muscle today.
Amen for that. So, I was gone for 10 days on a business trip. I'm in ministry, so it was like a camp meeting, but I had to work and my kids got to enjoy the pool. And my wife is chasing kids from one activity to the next, lake, boat rides, horse rides. Now, the kids and the family did all that. I was working. But you brought up off air an incident that happened with me, and you've experienced this in the past, so I definitely want to hear your opinion. But I'm going to put it up on the screen, and I'm just going to read it because I posted it on our Fitbot community. Here it is. Ready? I said, I just got the "you're lucky you get to work out" comment. As I was leaving the hotel gym, it was from a colleague who was up just as late as I was. It's not luck that I made the time. Those who don't want to put in the work always think it's luck. Here at Fitbot, we make our own luck. So when you
Mhm.
saw that and it's happened to you, what was your initial response?
I've actually changed my opinion. Originally, I would get just instantly annoyed when I would hear it because I would hear, "Oh, you're lucky you've lost weight." Yeah, I just fell and tripped and the body fat just rolled off. It was like a miracle. Or I've heard, "You're lucky you have time to work out." And originally, I would just get annoyed with that, but I do wanna keep in mind that not everybody's circumstances are the same. We have single parents that
Mm-hmm.
have children with more demands than others, special needs, maybe high demand jobs. What we're doing is not luck.
Mm-hmm.
Still have to make sacrifices, wake up early, be consistent, build those habits, and we have to show up even when we don't feel like it. It's not luck, it's intentional effort. And I feel like when it does get called luck, it's said to protect their ego so that, they can't confront their own inaction or struggles, whether or not it is due to a lack of support on their end. You can still always do something to move forward in your journey if you really, really want to.
And let me give you a little bit more background to the circumstances, right? So it was a colleague of mine. So he's in the same boat I am. We're both staying
Mhm.
in the same hotel. We both arrived on Thursday night. And I woke up. We arrived Thursday night. We didn't get back to the hotel till 10. I woke up early the next day and worked out. I worked out. Saturdays is my day off. Sunday, I worked out, even though I was hosting a 5K. Like I was running all the software. We ended up having 72 runners, and the software that tracks with the bib was legit. There was these two friends that were, I didn't know how precise these softwares were. There was two friends who came in at like 3801 0.1 and the other one came in at 3801.6. That was the difference in bragging rights. Not even a second, but a tenth, 4/10 of a second. And so I was bummed because I couldn't run the race because my daughter ran it. She came in first in her age bracket, but because I had to man it, nobody else could. But next year I plan to
Mhm.
train and run it. It's the only running I'll do, officially because you know how much we love to run. But then,
Yeah.
so then Sunday I worked out, Monday I worked out, Tuesday I worked out, Wednesday. So this happened on Thursday. But Wednesday night, we were up to like, I didn't fall asleep till after midnight. Why? We had, after all our services and everything in camp meeting that officially had to take place, a basketball tournament started at 8:30 and we played till like 10:45. But by the time you got all that adrenaline of running on a basketball court, I didn't fall asleep till like after 12:30. But I still woke up at 5:30 in the
Mhm.
morning, had my personal time, then went to the hotel gym and worked out. So I'm coming out of that where I see him, mind you, out of all places, he's grabbing a snack at the continental breakfast. And he's like, "Oh, you're coming from the gym?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, you're lucky you get to work out." And I was like, I don't know what I said, but I said, "No, I woke up early to work out." And then I just got in the
Mhm.
elevator. But I should have said it's not luck. I just said, "No, I woke up early." And but then as I'm in the hotel, I mean in my room, that's when I made the post. It's not luck, people. I didn't feel
Mhm.
100% fresh. I didn't feel like I had the best workout that day, but I knew this is what I do. So I got up and worked out regardless of how much I slept or did not sleep. And that's how I've had the success I've had and how Jodi has had the success. So
Mhm.
the rest of the week, I didn't see him coming out of the gym at all. I mean, he was never in the gym, but I never saw him again. But it is what it is. You know, I kind of gave him a side eye a couple of times.
Well, I mean, and if you're staying at the same hotel, he had access to
Yes.
the hotel gym just like you did, so
Mm,
I'm still trying to figure out the luck portion
yes,
because y
exactly. Now, to
how
his
does that
credit,
work?
he doesn't work out, but he's thin, so he's not overweight or anything. And but thin is not necessarily healthy either, as you and I know,
Mhm.
right? You can be thin and unhealthy, but people would at least perceive him to be healthy. But who knows what's going on internally? And so that's that. It's not luck. And today I made another post, and I won't show that one, but I didn't sleep well last night and I still got up and worked out. But man, it was a struggle. Like every rep was like, I don't know if I'm going to finish the set. And there are days like that too. So the reason I bring it up, not every day are Jodi and I going to feel like it's the best workout and we're high energy and ready to hit the gym. No, we do it because this is who we are.
I always say your 100% best is going to look different every day, because your muscles aren't going to have the same recovery. You're not going to have the same quality of sleep every single day. Our mental health, it comes into play, the physical body. Our 100% is going to look different day by day. And that is completely normal. It's not supposed to look the same every day.
Hmm. Yeah, and that goes along with nutrition, and that's what I want to bring out. My wife and I, sometimes since I left Texas and since I don't have my full home gym, there have been weeks where I've slacked off on my diet. So I've gotten a little fluffy, but nothing major. But my wife and I, we're like, man, we're gonna be gone from 10 days. And we made a kind of friendly family wager. If any one of us gains more weight than the weight you measured the day you left to the camp, right? So I left Thursday morning. That was my set weight. And she left Friday morning. Then, so if we gained a pound, we had to give each other $50. and and if we both stayed under our weight or even lost weight, then quote unquote it's all our money, but the house would give each of us $50. So I'm about to put $50 because we have an account. We give each other what we call no questions asked spending money, right? If she wants to
Mhm.
blow it all in one spot, I can't ask because it's already budgeted. But for me, it's hard to track your food when you don't have your scale or when you don't know what's going to be served. So I decided I'm going to do this intuitively eating. A lot of people know that I use the Lose It app and I track everything. So it was weird. The first couple of days, I I undercut my portions, right? Because I didn't want to risk it at least the first couple of days. So there was a little hunger pangs maybe over the first weekend. But then Monday through the end of the week on Sunday, I ate good, healthy portions, but I kept it to one plate. So I ended up losing like 4 pounds, which was good because I'm on a cut anyway. And which might be a lot for 1 week or 10 days. But considering I was never overtly hungry and I was working out a lot,
Mhm.
plus I'm doing work at the camp. So I'm averaging like 16,000 steps, which normally I average between 10 and 12. So I'm happy and glad I was able to do it intuitively. I know you track as well. Are there times when you just eat intuitively?
The last time would be the Fitbod retreats. I
Yeah.
don't travel very
Yeah.
often.
Mhm.
I ate a lot of similar things that I would eat and track, but I'm not gonna be that person that packs a food scale in their
Mhm. Yeah.
suitcase. And, like, I was in a new area for the first time, so I wanted to indulge a little bit when we were
Mhm.
traveling, but I also
Mm.
knew I was there for a fitness retreat, and if
Yeah.
I eat like crap all day, every day, I'm going to feel awful at the gym, so I kept that in mind, and I don't remember if I had a gain or a loss that
Mm.
week. I kept foods in the mini fridge that I would normally eat. Like, I remember getting a fruit bowl. I remember getting fiber wraps and cottage
Mhm.
cheese and quick things, but still making sure that I had a chance to indulge. But I have seen posts where people are on vacation. Like, I think an actual real vacation
Mhm.
is a
Mhm.
different story than
Yeah.
traveling for work,
Mhm.
where somebody posted that I'm getting ready to go on a cruise and my 30-some-year-old daughter is embarrassed because I'm bringing my food scale and going to weigh my portions on a cruise. And everybody's like, yeah, we don't blame your daughter for being embarrassed. That's a bit extreme. You can't you can't aim for perfection every single day, especially if the circumstances are one-offs. You just have
Yeah.
to do your best, but vacation, come on, life is about living a little bit, here and
Yes.
there
Yes.
sparingly.
It's
What are
funny you
your thoughts
mentioned
when you're
that.
on vacation?
I'm
Mhm.
about to take first vacation in a while. In August 13th, I'm going to Michigan for about a week to visit some friends. We had promised my daughters that once the house in Texas sold, we would take them to visit their friends. They have girls around their age that they're very close to. We're very close to the parents as well. So we're going to go see our friends. So that's what we're doing. But here's the funny thing though, because my wife knows I track all the time and I had to get there Thursday. She got there Friday. I told her, bring the scale. She assumed it was my macro scale. She was like, "What are you gonna do? Take it to the thing and put it in your back pocket?" And I was like, "No, the weight scale, because we had the bet going. So we did take, to weigh ourselves every morning to make sure we were on track." But yeah, it shows you how much I tracked that she thought I was asking to bring the gram scale. No, no, I'm on a cut. I want to finally reach 10% body fat. This is the first time I'm really going to go gun ho after it. I'm going to give myself about a year. Probably could do it sooner, but I want to do it slow and steady. This is a lifestyle, not a race to a show. And some people may have a show, but that's not my case. And so I'm going after that. So I'm in a cut. And no, but I'm going to eat intuitively when I go to Michigan, but I'm going to put myself another goal of making sure I don't gain any weight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Give us an update of what's going on with your husband. He did have an accident. What's going on with that?
Yeah, unfortunately, he's still at a point where he can't drive, so
Mm.
yeah, I'm taking him to physical therapy 2 times a week, which fortunately is 5 minutes down the road,
Okay,
and it
nice.
happens to be near the grocery store and Chipotle. Just saying.
Yeah.
But I do have to take him to a follow-up appointment tomorrow to see how his hand's doing. He still has
Mm.
pins in his hand. Originally, when he had his accident, the x-rays at the emergency room showed that his second metacarpal in his left hand, which is his non-dominant hand, was
Mm-hmm.
broken, put out of place, that it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't caught until a CT scan the day before his surgery.
Mm.
So he just had the wires removed maybe 2 weeks ago, but he still has pins in there now.
Mm.
So I don't think they're taking the pins out this week. I think that's going to be next week, but Yeah, he's still very limited what he can do, like, he
Mm-hmm.
can finally put socks on by himself, which is, like
Mercy.
and it's annoying for him because, like, especially with me having to drive him, with him
Mm-hmm.
being a professional driver for a living. He
Mm-hmm.
likes that control of being
Yes.
behind the wheel, and I've joked with him saying, "You're passenger princess right now, stop with it."
And
But, I
driving
mean
driving Miss Daisy. I mean, Mr. Frank.
right? I mean, it's an uphill battle, and I mean, our listeners don't know that, we're not live currently on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, but I'm glad we're not live because we're still waiting for a police officer to show up to our door.
Yeah.
Police.
Yeah.
Not that he did anything wrong, but the person that was the other driver wasn't just charged for drunk driving or reckless driving or driving the wrong way. Apparently, he had drugs in his system too when that
Oh,
accident
mercy.
happened. And he's supposed to get a subpoena at some week, my husband, to show up to court. I don't know how much help he can be. He couldn't even tell you what the driver looked like when it
Mm-hmm.
happened. It was 1 a.m. in the morning, and headlights coming your way. How much can a person see? But apparently that's going to be in the near future.
Mercy. Did Frank pass out? I don't remember. Was he knocked out at any point during the accident?
Surprisingly, no, and I just
Okay.
asked him that the other day. I know he called me to tell me about the accident, but did you have to be pulled out or were you able to get out? And he
Mm-hmm.
said he was able to get out. He needed help
Yeah.
because the door was stuck closed,
Oh.
but
Mm-hmm.
shockingly, as much as the hand issue is annoying, it's still a miracle that was the extent and
Yeah.
some bruising around his abdomen from the seat belt.
It's funny because I've seen pictures and we've showed it on previous episodes of the accident. The car is totaled. I'm wondering how the hand got hurt and not like a leg or an ankle broken or something like that that you would think would be in more immediate area of impact, right?
Well, I have a theory for that. Because he is a professional driver, I think he was able to react just in time where most of the impact was passenger front. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
really couldn't swerve around because it was an
Yeah.
on-ramp with
Mm,
concrete barriers on both sides, but most of the impact was the passenger front. If he didn't do anything, I don't think he'd be here today, and I think the
mercy.
person currently sitting in jail would have a
Mm-hmm.
homicide charge on his hands right now.
Wow. Yeah, that's scary. So if the audience, anybody listening is into prayers, I know I am, prayed for Frank this morning. So continue to pray, send good juju vibes or whatever you want to do, and that he can get back because Jody, you've had to take extra shifts, right? To help make ends meet with your gym. How's that going?
Well, more like I was asked coincidentally. Now
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
I'm coaching 5 days a week, 2 2
Wow.
classes every morning because one of the other coaches is currently on maternity leave. Fortunately, we are not big spenders. We live below our means, and that
Yeah.
helps. It's going to be tight for a
Mm,
bit, but it's still manageable and doable. I think the best possible outcome of this situation would be, 1, my husband gets full recovery and is able to
mm,
go back to work sooner rather than later. And I really hope this was rock bottom for the other party.
mhm,
What I would love is an amazing comeback story.
mhm,
Somebody that, is experiencing this moment and decides enough is enough. I want better than this in my life. And I hope they can pick up the pieces of their life and really make something of themselves because the other person is only 23 years old.
mercy.
That
Mhm,
that I don't know if I would feel better if it was somebody older or not, but that's so young to
mhm.
do this much damage to your life so early.
Look, it's funny you mentioned, and I'm glad because that shows your heart that you don't wish ill. Obviously, you want justice done and you want things righted, but you want the best for him as well. I heard a story here, and this is off on a little tangent of a man who robbed a store, a fast food store, And he got caught and he was sentenced to 13 years in jail. And the day they were supposed to pick him up to take him to prison, nobody showed up. So he stayed in the house for 2 weeks, waiting. Nobody ever came to pick him up. He ended up changing his life around. He got married, had kids, got a good job, ended up starting like a non-for-profit to help kids avoid his life choices. And at the end of 13 years, when his prison sentence was supposed to be up, he gets a knock on the door, an arrest warrant. Because on the day he was supposed to be released, they looked for him in the prison system and he wasn't there. And they realized the clerical error. So they come and arrest him. Now, as fate would have it, the same judge who gave him the 13-year sentence is the judge still. And he looks at the man's record, sees that he never got in trouble, sees that he changed his life around, sees that he actually started like a clinic for at-risk youth. By the grace of God, commuted the sentence because he had changed his life around. So they were coming to arrest him to put him back in jail for 13 years. And they commuted it because he changed his life around. This young man have the same thing. Now, granted, he's in prison right now, but may he come out of here, change his life around, and perhaps be the catalyst to change somebody else and stop them from drinking and driving. Fortunately, you and I don't drink, but we see it too often. This time it affected you, all right? But you hear the stories all the time. And so let's keep praying for Frank. Let's keep hoping for the best outcome and get Frank working soon.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Yes, or something at least. All right. Look, I don't know how much longer we want to go on this, but I do want to show a video here real quick. This is totally 180 from what we were talking about. But many people know I'm 100% plant-based. Jodi is not. But neither of us advocate that you have to go one extreme or the other. Like Jodi's not carnivore, and I'm not one of those militant vegans who say you can never eat meat. Actually, let me point something out. At home, we're 100% plant-based. But my wife, every once in a while, because she has celiac disease, if she can't find something to eat, she's eating some eggs because of celiac. I'm 100% plant-based everywhere I go, but I don't have celiac disease. So it just shows you that we're not extremists. But here's a video that we're going to show by a very well-respected guy. He's a PhD, Lane Norton. And he's talking about plant-based versus animal protein. And for those of you who may be skeptical about building muscles on plant-based, hear what he has to say.
In this corner, we have plant protein. In this corner, we have animal protein.
I'm going to have to start that all over because I want you on the screen here. Here. I didn't realize that happened the first time I went to this screen. All right, ready? All over.
In this corner, we have plant protein. In this corner, we have animal protein. Ready? Ready? Fight! So this study was looking at randomized control trials comparing plant protein with animal protein for muscle health. Now, the studies had to be at least 4 weeks in duration. And the reason is you need at least 4 weeks to show changes in lean mass. And they had to be in people who had no present disease to start with. And they had to be same amount of protein or similar amount of protein. They had to be within 5 grams of protein for the treatments for plant and animal. And they had to be isocaloric, so there'd be same total calories. What did they find? Between young and old, across those demographics, they saw better results with the animal protein. So they saw a little bit better increase in muscle mass or muscle retention with the animal protein versus the plant protein. I want to point out it was not a massive difference. It was pretty similar. And these were with non-soy plant proteins. Can you build the same amount of muscle with a plant-based diet as an animal-based diet? Yes. Yes, you can. You probably are just going to have to do a bit more legwork in terms of if you're only using intact sources of plant protein, it's going to be more difficult. One, because you're going to have to eat more total protein to get the same amount of bioavailable protein, and the amino acid composition is not as good. So you're going to have to eat more because of that as well. If you're using isolated sources of plant protein, like a soy protein, then you can do it relatively easily with a few servings of that on top of your normal diet.
Not to give them an advertisement. But basically, you heard what he said. Now, there are some things in the way he interprets the data that I would disagree with per se, but overall, the data is spot on. Because even though there was a little bit higher muscle build per se. When it came, the statistical thing is negligible. And not only that, when it came to strength score, it's basically the same. So I just brought that up, and then I want to hear your opinion. Is that for those who are scared of even like going plant based for a month and think you're going to lose all your gains, stop it. That's not going to happen.
I think it is time that we, meat eaters, please
Hmm.
hear me out. Let's officially retire the question, how do you get protein, to
Yes.
our vegan and plant-based friends, because clearly Gio has muscle. Clearly, other podcasts, other shows, other experts have come out and explained that it's possible. So instead, ask them what their favorite protein source
Hmm.
is and learn from them, because Gio and his edamame pasta, I
Yes.
enjoy that. And it has a lot of fiber, a lot of protein. And I just bought a bag of frozen edamame so I
Mm-hmm.
can, have something additional with my meat animal protein sources to help me reach my nutrition goals.
Yes, and I like that you point that out because I remind meat eaters all the time who kind of like try to tease me or just curious and ask questions. I'm like, when was the last time you just ate meat like on a regular basis? And they're like, I don't remember. Exactly. You're always eating it with either rice or broccoli or some
Mhm.
vegetable or something else. So why not use plant protein to supplement the meat you're eating already? Right? You don't have to get all 60 grams, let's say, of protein from your meat. If you have a steak with some edamame pasta, if you have 4 ounces of edamame pastas, which is 48 grams of protein, and you have a steak, I don't know, what does a regular steak have in protein on average?
That I don't know, because I usually eat chicken, and that size always varies depending on what I'm making.
Okay, well, whatever. I can assure you that you're gonna get at least 60 to 70 grams of protein in a meal if you eat 4 ounces of edamame and you have your chicken breast and your steak. So supplement, and like Jody pointed out, which is always important, whether you're 100% plant-based or you eat meat like Jody, is you got to get your fiber. And only plants have fiber. Meat does not. But the reason I say that to my plant based people is there have been studies of people who are junk food plant based eaters. And a lot of processed food doesn't have fiber. And so you could be 100% plant based, but if you're eating junk food all the time, you're not getting your fiber either. So everybody get your fiber. You were going to say something, Jody?
I gotta share a funny story with you real
Okay.
quick. So one of my guy friends saw a commercial for Metamucil, and it's these women. They're out on an outdoor walk
Yeah.
together, talking about constipation. And my guy friend's like, "Is that what you ladies talk about on your walks?" I said, "No, we're gonna talk about menopause or perimenopause." But I can imagine Gio and I would have a whole conversation about fiber, not
Yeah.
Metamucil or
Yes.
constipation, because we
Hmm.
we get our fiber in.
You know, it's funny you bring that up because I've seen those Metamucil commercials, and that's never as good as
Oh yeah.
natural fiber. So if you're having trouble going, eat some broccoli, right? Get some beans in there somehow. And like I said, I'm not asking you to give up your meat. Put some beans with that chicken
Mhm.
breast. You know what I mean? Get some black beans
Absolutely.
with the, or if you want more protein, get that edamame bean with the chicken breast, and you're good to go. How's that going?
I finished one of his nutrition courses and I was about to start level 2, but I decided to do a coaching one instead, which isn't directly from him. I just feel like
Yeah.
maybe since I'm coaching 5
Coaching.
days a week, I should probably do that, but I
Yeah.
am looking forward. I'm not as invested mentally and excited as I was
Yeah.
with Lane's. Like, Lane's was really
Hmm.
good about nutrition, but with everything going on, it's been a little bit slow
Hmm.
because of me working so much and driving him elsewhere, but I'm trying to at least get through one module a week of that
Mm.
course. And then I get to start the second nutrition one, and I'm excited about that.
Speaking of which, I'm taking CPU, CPE or whatever it's called myself, and I took one that was exciting and I forgot what it was about. Oh, lower back pain and how to
Mhm.
treat hip because I have tight. My left hip is real tight, and that could be leading to some back discomfort. But anyway, the one I'm taking now is the title was good. I need to get back on it because it was dry as a hill. But I'm already like halfway through it, and I need to finish it just to get because you. How many credits you need to continue your license? I think NASM is 2 CPUs or CPEs, whatever.
I don't remember. I
Okay,
don't
it's probably
remember,
about 2.
unfortunately.
And I got to take
Yeah,
a
probably.
nutrition one too as well. All right, girl. Any last closing thoughts as we wrap up this episode?
Before we close out, I
Mhm.
just wanted to share a little something.
Okay.
We
Go ahead.
had a really special guest on our show that we enjoyed hearing her story so much
Oh,
that we had
yes.
her as a guest host on
Mm-hmm.
our show. We got a lot of positive feedback from those
Mm-hmm.
episodes. Our friend Kristen has decided to start her own podcast. It'll be launching soon. It's called Under the Barbell Over the BS podcast. That wasn't the actual word, but you get the
Yeah, yeah.
gist.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
definitely, if you were somebody that enjoyed hearing Kristen's episode, and if you don't remember, Kristen was the one that went through a health scare with breast cancer and how
Mm-hmm.
she felt like her journey into powerlifting and strength training really helped her with that battle that she wasn't expecting. And we also had her on about whether or not it's okay to make comments about somebody's body or weight loss. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely check those episodes out and be sure to subscribe to her upcoming podcast, which will be launching soon.
Okay, cool. Perhaps talk to her, see if we have her back on as a guest host and she can plug her podcast and help. Until next time on the Mindful Muscle podcast, be blessed.